everyone, this is Dr. Liv with New Insight, and thank you for joining me in another video. The title of today's video is The Functional Dispute. In my videos, you hear me talk about cognitive distortions, thinking errors, or thought traps, which are all names for faulty thinking, and how it's imperative to monitor them and keep them in check, not allowing them to distort our judgment, feelings, or actions. In therapy, the process of doing so is called cognitive restructuring or cognitive reappraisal, which are both concepts from CBT, also known as cognitive behavioral therapy. They both refer to the process of rewiring our brains to think differently. They both also emphasize the process of identifying, challenging, and changing thoughts that are negative, unhelpful, and unhealthy, such as the thinking errors or thought traps. Our thoughts shape the way we feel and behave, and this represents what is known as the cognitive triangle: thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And the nature of our thoughts and beliefs affects our perception, which then affects our feelings and actions. For example, if I think or believe a certain restaurant has the worst customer service, my feelings about the restaurant are going to be negative, and the negative feelings will then affect my behaviors, which will result in me either not going to the restaurant as much or not going to the restaurant at all. Even if the food is good and I do have a wonderful customer service experience, because my mind is holding on to the negative thought or belief, I might not acknowledge the positive. So in this case, my negative perception is blocking the view of the positive customer service experience by focusing on the unpleasant experiences in the past. Therefore, one specific type of cognitive restructuring skill is called the functional dispute. The functional dispute challenges you to use logical reasoning over emotional reasoning and to be solution focused, not problem focused. Another example, if you and your partner are working on repairing your relationship, perhaps trying to improve communication skills. However, you also have the thought or belief that says, my partner is stubborn and will never change. Regardless of whether this thought or belief is based on facts or feelings, facts or opinions, the bottom line is it's counterproductive to your goal of trying to repair the relationship and work on communication. How so? The more you think about the thought and the more you talk about it, the more you feel the negative emotions from it. And the negative emotions will then lead to negative behaviors or actions, which will then hinder or block the progression of your stated goals because you feel frustrated, irritable, have less hope or motivation to work on them. The functional dispute challenges you to ask questions such as, what's the function of this thought or belief? How is it serving me, serving my goals? Is it healthy? Is it helpful? How does it affect my mood or behaviors? Will this thought position me to be my best self? If you and your partner, for example, are trying to repair the relationship, change old habits, rebuild, and have a healthier dynamic, this thought serves no positive benefit. It does not mean your feelings aren't valid, and again, the thought may be based on fact or opinion. However, the bottom line is it is not helpful. Therefore, it is imperative to discard or suspend this thought and replace it with more affirming thoughts or counter arguments that will be more conducive to your goal of repairing the relationship. Therefore, it is so important to shift our mindset. Pay attention to what helps and what hinders. Our own thinking can be our biggest stumbling block or trap. Also, using the functional dispute might seem like you're invalidating or discrediting yourself, but that's not what you're doing. It may also feel like you're excusing something you believe is wrong or unfair. That's also not what the functional dispute is about. Instead, the functional dispute is about challenging thoughts that can limit us and trap us. It challenges you to be practical, wise, and move in a direction of growth rather than remain in stagnation. Don't allow your thinking patterns to be the downfall, keeping you from happiness, peace, and growth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.